something serving as a model or providing guidance. A detailed plan or program of action is a blueprint, microwavable culture. When we think about blueprint, we think about building. We think about building houses. We think about building buildings. But we don't think about building our lives based on the blueprint. Now, a lot of people have had blueprints handed down to them, depending on if your family was successful or not, depending on who raised you. Or if you had cousins who were successful and they tried to give you their blueprint, a little piece of their blueprint. But everybody's blueprint is different. Everybody's blueprint is solely meant for their lives, because all of us, we all have different lives. We all walk different lives, right? We all at different stages in our lives, regardless of if we're the same age or not, because our mindsets are different. So that means your blueprint should be different. Your blueprint should be solely based off of you and who you are, knowing yourself, knowing what you want out of this world. Not letting anybody else give you their blueprint, because their blueprint just might not work for you. Regardless if y'all come from the same circumstances, their hustle may be different from your hustle. You know what I mean? Maybe they're good with pies and bacon and things of that nature. But that's not your lane. That's not your blueprint. That's not how you should try to overcome your struggle, your current circumstances. You need to figure out who you are and align your blueprint with what you want out of this life. And I think a lot of us have been handed bad blueprints and we just been running with them. A lot of people hand down school. For the scholars out there, you hand your blueprint of school down to your offspring because you want them to have a better chance of life. But just because that worked for you, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for them. We all are different. We all want different things. A lot of us want negative things out of life. But is it because we had a negative blueprint? Do we want negative things out of life because we inherited somebody else's blueprint and we just ran with it? Like, a lot of us don't want to live negative lives. Majority of people don't want to live negative lives. But their blueprint is full of negativity. You know, your blueprint should be full of life, longevity. You should create a blueprint that's conducive with the life you're trying to live. A life full of positivity and love. You know, a lot of people have passed down bad blueprints, and look where we're at now. We live in a world full of hate, full of envious people, jealousy. Somebody could be looking like you from the same struggle as you, but you become a victim of your success because they don't like you. But where does that come from? Did you manifest your blueprint based off of hate? Or did you base your blueprint off of love and helping the next person? Staying in your lane, staying down, finding yourself, finding out who you are in order to cultivate a life. To start jotting down things and start building your blueprint. How long is it going to take you to manifest what you're trying to build? Because a 15,000 square foot house blueprint is not going to fit a 4,000 square foot house blueprint. Everybody's blueprint is different. But you got to figure out who you are, because we get outside influence from the outside world, especially now with social media being so prevalent. You don't believe in yourself, you don't trust yourself, but you want to take what other people are doing and what you see because you're so impressionable and you don't believe in yourself. So you take what you see on the net, social media, regardless of what platform it is, and you start aligning what they doing with your life. Well, they out here getting money. They out here getting the women. What they doing? But what they doing ain't got nothing to do with you. We don't look at ourselves, or we don't love ourselves enough for us to have a blueprint. I think we try to figure out the world before we truly figure out who we are, because we get so much influence, because we're so impressionable, because we don't have the mindset to understand that, hey, we're all architects. We all have to design a life that's meant and built for us, and we have to be comfortable in that design that we have created for ourselves. As God, as your guide in life, I believe, because you're not going anywhere without the man upstairs. Truth be told. So your blueprint definitely should be predicated around him, just to give you guidance in this crazy world, so you can stay safe, so you can make the right decision, make the right moves. It's based off of who you are as a person. I'm not saying that you can't take pieces and bits and things of this nature from other people's blueprints. No. But you have to establish what you want your blueprint to be for you first before you can start nitpicking and taking this and taking that from other people's blueprint and putting it in and modifying it so it can fit you. Because not everybody's blueprint is meant for you. Not even a little bit. You take the good with the bad. You take what they did good, you say, okay, bam. Tweak some things a little bit. Or maybe the whole blueprint is that. But you shouldn't be inheriting somebody's blueprint. Your fingerprints need to be all on that blueprint. You need to be what you need to be for you in order to be successful. Because we all want to be successful, right? Some people want big families, small families, but nobody wants financial hardships. It just so happened that the blueprint that they inherited or the blueprint that they cultivated for themselves, it didn't leave any room for longevity and happiness and prospering and helping the next person out. That blueprint was just monetary, momentary. You know what I mean? Quick, fast. This blueprint is only gonna last a couple years, and that's it. But your marathon, your blueprint can't stand the test of time, right? Because you don't know who you are. So now you over here trying to make your blueprint like everybody else's because you're still scrambling to find out who you are. Because you got to find out who you are in order to know what life you're trying to live. Because you got to love yourself in order to know what it is you're trying to do. You're trying to spread love or you're trying to spread hate. It ain't that hard. You either do one or two things in this world. You either spreading hate or you spreading love. Through how you feel about yourself in the inside. By what you want to cultivate through your blueprint. Does your blueprint have a foundation that it can stand on? You being that foundation. Are you solid enough to go ahead and manifest tangible things from your mindset on paper to tangible? Can you do that? Are you solid enough to do that? Because you can't build anything great on a shaky foundation. You have to be solid. And the solidness comes from you. It comes from understanding yourself, understanding what you want, understanding what you can and cannot do at what age you are. Not overexerting yourself, knowing what you need to do in order to build the best life you can build and be happy within that life. Having the right perspective to be fully happy with the life you cultivated because your blueprint was impeccable. Your foundation was solid. You had the right mindset. Your heart was in the right place. You want things out of this life. You want generational wealth. You want to be able to pass not your entire blueprint on, but you want to be able to at least give guidance to people. So, hey, because what I did may not work for you to the T, but it could be a little referendum. It could be a little guidance, a little guide for you to get to where you're trying to get to. It could be that for you. Your blueprint. Your blueprint is going to say if you're going to be successful in this life or not. You have those good habits that show up every day. Add a little more onto that blueprint. Add a little more onto that foundation. Keep coming back for more each and every day. Not letting the outside world dictate who you're going to be or when you're going to be it. Telling yourself the right things. Understand that it's going to be a long process. A lot of people are going to test you to see what your texture's worth. Shout out to Nip. But you got to be 10 toes down like they say. Never waver, no matter how hard it gets. Because people are going to test you because they don't like you. But don't let the negativity of the outside world, good or bad, impact the blueprint that you're creating, the foundation that you're cultivating. No one can take that away from you. You're your own individual. You're a boss. You need to move as one. Because at the end of the day, you got to live this life. No one can live this life for you. You're your own artist. Can't nobody cultivate the life you want but you. You got to understand the power that you have. And be able to stand on that. Take the weight of what you're trying to pursue, no matter how hard it is, right? Because you decided to take an oath. Internally, you didn't have to publicize it. You took an oath internally and said, yo, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stand on that. And be proud of that, because not a lot of people will ever have a blueprint. Or the ones that do have a blueprint, there's no room for love and longevity. Just destruction and hatred. Microwave book culture.